When the film Interview with the Vampire came out in 1994, many loved the subtle queer subtext in the film. Those who read the book know that it was a lot more than subtext.
Speak slower, Al. Speak slower.
Anne Rice has talked about this. Her son was gay, and partially was a tribute to Community. Now AMC is adapting the novel as a television series, and they aren't shying away from keeping it gay. Now I apologize because we were going to show you, there is now a trailer, but it is so locked down that they would pull our show right out of YouTube if we didn't. Can't show it to you, but you must go to YouTube, and it's actually been pulled down in YouTube also. But as soon as it's up, you've got to watch it. One of the characters is black, and the other one is, and he's very hot, and the other one is just
Grey Worm.
You know how Tony was saying before about how, you don't reinvent new things, right? And I have to agree with him on a lot of things, like, League of Their Own, they tried to bring it back. It's not the same, so you have to make it, you have to elevate it, you have to make it that much better, that much hotter. And with Interview with the Vampire, that's hard, because think about when this movie came out, all the gay expletives were there, but they weren't really there, But in your mind, you knew Tom Cruise was with Brad Pitt. You knew that Antonio Banderas was there as a throuple, and you were loving it.
And they were a throuple.
And you were loving it.
Does that make it better, though, than it being overt? Like,
no.
Is it more fun to
You want to see it.
I want to know.
Let me say. Or do you want it?
So I'll tell you, in the 90s, growing up in a small rural town, Faye, of Homestead,
you grew up in Homestead?
I did, out in the Redlands, in the farmlands.
Wow.
So you kind of take what you can get, and definitely in the 90s, I wear.
But you're single.
Yeah, that's true. So I was so into vampires, and at that time, I didn't even know that I was gay. It took me till, God, my late 20s to even come out and realize myself, because I was a good Southern Baptist kid.
Your mom knew.
Huh? She didn't.
She did.
I tell you, we argued about this a lot. She was like, no, I would have known. And I was like, so we're in a British accent. But so, when you first see those things on television and you can feel it, but you don't know what it is, if you're maybe a confused queer kid, like what you're attracted to about it. But I just remember feeling all those subliminal things, but I didn't have the vocabulary to describe what it was. And then also as a musician, all the vampire movies.
Do you think that's an unusual story, or now that you've been through this process, you think that that is a very frequent story?
Oh, of course. I've talked to so many people that they find all the little subtexts, within different shows.
Yeah.
I mean, so much so that I grew my nails out to this long, sharpened them, painted them black. I was like,
bottom.
I figured out a way.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wait, as we explore these tropes or these signals, by the way, I don't know if y'all know, I've still got to ask the question. Question number 5.
Oh, everybody drank.
I'm looking forward to Gay Christmas, as Interview with a Vampire is here for Halloween.
Merry Christmas to me.
Awesome. So is there anybody we know in this new rendition of it?
I didn't know a single person. I've watched it about, how long does it, 20 minutes if you rerun it over and over again? How long?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay,
so they couldn't grab anybody from Bridgerton? Or nobody
yeah, they did. They did. If you watch Game of Thrones, the guy who played Grey Worm, the one who didn't have a penis, he's I feel like he chose this role just so he could prove that he has a penis.
Well, wouldn't you? I mean,
let's talk about some of the imagery that is so hot. First, New Orleans and the French Quarter.
Oh, stories.
Where in America can you walk for 5 blocks and go, oh crap, I think I had an orgasm just walking through the set of New Orleans? Everybody knows New Orleans.
Yes, of course. There's nothing like it.
Right, and the food and the drink and the bars and the hot men. And a little bit of French, but it's the Creole French from out in the bayou, so it's kind of trashy.
And you love it.
Love the trashy,
and you love it.
right? It's not Parisian. No.
It's like the red light district right here in the U.S.
Exactly, right. And then you think about Oak Alley. That famous scene where he killed the dog, the poodle, is a plantation at Oak Alley. It's about 60 miles north of New Orleans on the Mississippi. And the famous the famous oaks in front of the plantation, of Oak Alley Plantation, and then Tom Cruise coming in on Brad Pitt from behind, over his shoulder, and into the neck. Come on, just
Right?
come on.
And I totally thought Tom Cruise was the bottom. I was surprised by
In
that.
real life.
In real life.
Was Tom Cruise sane back then? Was it? Was
No.
it still
Was he
his
ever?
No, he
regular
never-
day?
He was,
No.
he
No?
was heavy into the Scientology
already.
when he had done it.
And also all those voodoo kind of dark witch undertones
Yeah,
that are in the city. Oh,
But you could watch the old Interview with a Vampire,
With
and
the grandpa.
and it would still be
Oh yeah, for
incredibly,
sure.
incredibly relevant and fantastic.
Yeah. And so many things came out of Interview with a Vampire, the Vampire Diaries, and their multiple shows, the
Queen
New
of the
Orleans
Damned.
theme, and that.
Twilight.
And American Horror Story Coven was
Oh.
like one of the greatest series anthology shows
I
ever.
think it's always going to be popular, whether
know-
we're talking about like the cartoon characters or the vampires, anywhere where there is a duality and a second kind of identity that person lives. I think that we automatically identify with
I'm
that.
probably going to need a few minutes here, so we're going to go to a long commercial break. No, we're not. Last question
have any
related
booze
to
left?
this: why is Halloween so big for us? Halloween's big for everybody, we know, but for gay people, LGBT, but especially in our acronym, gay men. What is it about?
because you can be yourself and blame it on Halloween. You can dress in drag if that's what you want to do. You can be a whatever slut, a nurse slut, or a doctor, or whatever.
Dr. Slut.
Doctor slut.
It's like on Halloween,
Or just a regular slut.
Slut.
regular slut. It's like on Halloween, you get to be who you really, really are, and nobody judges you.
Or
You know.
or you could be what your like fantasy is, because I can say like I've definitely been in some Halloween costumes. I wouldn't say it's my everyday thing, but it's fun to express
Tell me
that
one.
side.
What's the greatest of all of your Halloween costume?
Oh God, I probably was like a S&M priest.
An S.
And that was the most creative? Wow, Tony.
See,
I was
well,
going to say
you know-
about how fabulous we are and how creative the LGBTQ plus community
Well,
is.
look, when you come from Homestead, look, that's the best I could do.
Baby,
I was still at the
Michael,
church.
Hold up.
I get it. There's
Right.
a dollar store in Michael's there. And there's something that you could do, right?
Yeah, why don't you tell me one of your costumes, Jersey
Ooh,
girl?
I want to know.
I dressed like Caitlyn Jenner. Coming
Oh.
out when she was
So
when she
creative.
was in Vogue, that when it had just come out. Very creative.
Yeah.
But
For you?
But you know, one of my most creative and most fun costumes, I was a table. I literally cut out a circle in a cardboard, like a slab of cardboard, put my head through it, dined it up. I was a fucking table, you know.
That
like,
could be hot.
So like, am I fantasizing about being served and eaten? Maybe, but not like that.
And for you?
Drag, drag, drag.
Really?
It is
Love
my
it.
favorite Halloween.
Because it's not something you would really ever do.
Oh, well, I know. I used to work as a queen in a club.
okay.
What was your name?
Look at those eyebrows.
Nikki Gianni.
Those are
Nikki
great.
Gianni?
Right?
Gianni. I was a good Italian girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's a throwback to college. That was what we did.
Did you look like Lady Gaga?
Look
Are you
more
saying
like
that because
Lady
of the
Bunny.
nose?
So to pay
Well,
for
the
college,
Itali-
you worked as
wow.
a drag queen, sir, master.
Partially.
That
Yes.
You know,
Could have a little spendability.
the
Side
greatest
hustle, papi, side
the
hustle.
greatest Halloween costume I've ever done
Oh, God,
was
no.
last year.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And all of the years that I was involved with RuPaul's Drag Race and all of the queens hosting the cruise, I've had cruises with as many as 45 RuPaul queens on the same cruise, and never would do drag. Everybody on the planet offered me money and for this special event and fundraiser and blah 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 blah, and especially on the cruises. Never did it until last year. And Pride Fort Lauderdale hosted the big Halloween party.
Picture?
I was about to say. I was
You
about
don't
to
wanna
do the
see
same
the-
We have the
thing.
fabulous.
I went.
You don't want to see.
Hey,
I went as Fay What,
you didn't.
and I had a sash
So
that said
rude.
Miss Jersey, and I had this terrible, ugly, the wig that she's wearing right now.
These are extensions, bitch. These are extensions, bitch. Get it right. Velvet
and my
Lenore,
hair.
let me these.
And Fay What, who
good.
has Space for Family and is such an activist in South Florida for animals and especially dogs. I had a dog on a leash, and her dog's name is Pad Thai, like the Thai food, Pad Thai.
My dog's name is Padme. Padme. And he named her Pad Thai. And then
Thai.
he dragged her through the whole floor of Dakota. All right?
Dragged her
like
on
literally
her
dragged
side.
her on the leash throughout the whole entire place.
People were shocked when I walked in and I'm dragging this dog, puppy, behind me in this hair and this red dress or whatever.
His makeup was better than mine, and I was a little jealous.
You had an Indian dog?
What?
Indian.
No, from
Not
Star
Padme,
Wars.
Padme.
Oh.
Not Padme.
Not
What is that? Is that Star Wars?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, Padme.
Sorry.
Princess Padme.
Yeah,
Oh,
Princess
didn't
Padme.
see
Do you
it.
know where you're at, Tony? You
Or,
want to check your Google Maps real
Let me
quick?
just look here.
honey,
He's
it's
at the
like,
bottom of
it's like
these.
the Wizard of Oz. You're not in Kansas anymore. I mean,
You're not in Homestead anymore.
Right.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.